My name is Aaron Gwak. I'm founder and CEO. And we're an institutional real-world asset tokenization platform. Is really to build upward mobility for all. And how we want to do that is twofold. And I'll come back to this in a bit. But essentially, securities infrastructure today is very complex and therefore cuts out a lot of individuals that want to gain access to something as simple as their own government bonds. And that's something that we feel is worth tackling using technology that allows us to tackle it head on. Therefore, we've come up with three main components of what we are here to do. And the first one is to tokenize funds for regulated fund managers. And in that, making it easy not only for individuals to access those funds, but actually use that because they're tokens that they can hold themselves and have a third leg of movement in terms of being able to give that away to their to other eligible investors and so on. The second one where we started out as well is where we want to use token technology to make it easy for governments to reach out directly to their own citizens through tokenized securities, either domestically as well as internationally. The third is more of a byproduct of what we've had. We've been amassing a significant amount of information as well as technology around tokenization and using that for our shareholder group, Standard Chartered Group, and helping them to use token technology is a third line of business. But again, that isn't the mainstay. The mainstay is the first two, Delta and Bravo, or Bravo and Delta, where we want to make it individuals are the ones that are losing out most in the development of financial markets. We believe this is what we want to tackle and this is wrong, and that's what we're here to do. The team that we have assembled is precisely to try and assemble that together. I'm a 20-year, I don't like to use the word veteran, but I guess it kind of puts it there. I've been helping governments raise bond financing for 20 years, just over 20 years. So understanding how government bonds work, how the governments want to increase their market share in terms of selling more of their bonds to retail investors is something that we understand very well. Accessing the diaspora. Also, my co-founder, Will, with 15 years, third-time founder, understands the commercial finance space, the consumer finance space, having been in a co-founder of a neobank as well as a digital bank. And again, Ben, our CTO and co-founder, also an important cog in the wheel to understand the technology behind how to make this all possible. So again, I think the main thing for us is really to build out the different. I know it's a busy slide, and I apologize. And I'm happy to take the questions that you all have. I know it's churning. But let me cut it short. The main thing for us is that, look, we have a proven track record is not the accurate word, but we're getting there in terms of the proof of concepts around how this could work. We've been involved in a number of POCs. We've just launched our first product in Singapore, where we've tokenized a Singapore dollar government bond fund. We've had Moody's rate that so that we know that investors, when they're buying it, know what they're buying from an underlying perspective as well as a token technology perspective. We believe that token technology needs to be as robust as any legal engagement that you do when you make an investment, and that's where we're focused on. Thank you.
I know it's always me. I think the rest of board. What percentage does Standard Chartered own in you? Are you wholly owned by them?
Yes, at present we're wholly owned.
Ah, okay. So then you can compete. All right, that's interesting.
I'm sorry.
No, the bond traction, the tokenized bond traction, ironically, has come from bank-owned platforms because it's cover your ass by the big issuers ultimately. Even though there's better independent platforms all across Europe and the US.
Yeah.
Most of the being World Bank, EIB have all used like Orion or whatever from HSBC or from SocGen.
Yeah.
So having the backing of the bank is going to make a difference to you getting access to the big issuers like governments that you have.
That's right. So, and unfortunately, it's true. I don't necessarily agree that government bonds or big issuers should only look to banks per se, and that there are other more interesting things out there. Just to mention a few things, we're on a fully public blockchain network. We're not Orion, unfortunately. We also believe that it's not just institutional investors that should be getting onto the tokenization bandwagon, but rather it should serve individuals that are the ones that are missing out on very simple investment opportunities. Look, I grew up in Ghana, and before the recent currency crisis in Ghana, government bonds were yielding 18%. Inflation was at 12%, and banks were paying 3% interest. So every day you had money in the bank and not investing in the government's bonds, you're actually losing money. But then why? It's 50,000 cities, 3 to 4x GDP per capita to own one government bond. And I think that's what's wrong with the system. Thank you.